Hello, welcome to Do It Yourself with Wayne. Today we're going to do the first video in a series of water gardens. And this is a water garden that I built in 2006. And I don't have video of building the water garden, so we're going to work with still images here. But I'm going to walk you through how and why I built it the way I did. I'm going to start with a little history to begin with. This is the water garden my wife and I built back in 1996. Neither of us had ever built a water garden before, so it was our first venture into this type of gardening. And we had this spot in our backyard that got a lot of sun, and we figured it was a great place to put a water garden, so we built this. And it has three different tiers. We built the first tier up here using a preformed pond. The middle one is built using rock that we cemented together with a liner under it. And then the lower one is another preformed pond. The upper one, as water runs in, cascades out this corner into the middle. The middle cascades out in this area into the lower one, and then a pump pumps the water back up to start the process over again. And when we first built this, like I said, it was a real sunny area in our backyard. But we got a lot of large oak trees and poplars and stuff in our backyard. I know all you see really in the background there is pines, and those pines are gone now. But we got a lot of poplars and oaks, and they filled in. And this area of my backyard is almost 100% shaded now. So the water garden wasn't doing as well because it needs sun. And we were also getting a lot better at propagating plants, and we just had more plants than we had room for. So we moved some of our plants up onto our back deck in a little makeshift water garden that was just something as a place to put some plants. And as time went on, we enjoyed this little one better because we saw it more often. We saw it every day coming and going to work or whatever. So we decided to just build a new water garden on our back deck so we could enjoy it more. And our back deck got almost full sun. As you can see some shade in the background here, but it got mostly full sun. So we felt like it was an ideal place for to move our water garden to. So that was the whole theory or the strategy for why we moved our water garden to our back deck. This is the spot on our back deck where we removed our temporary water garden, and we purchased a pond liner and some treated 2x10s, and we built this box. It's basically about 9.5 feet by 6.5 feet and about 18 inches deep. And we chose that size because the pond liner that we purchased, that will cover the bottom, it'll come up the sides all the way around and lap over a little bit on the top edge. And your size would depend on the space that you have to work with. And this is about 18 inches deep, although we never fill it completely full. And we also installed styrofoam insulation in the bottom. We felt like that would accomplish two things. First, it would protect our pond liner from the wood that made the surface of the deck, and also an occasional nail head that might come up a little bit or something. And the other thing is, with it being on our deck, there's airspace underneath. And in the wintertime, a lot of cold air would come up from underneath, and we didn't really want that. So this also provides insulation from the cold air coming up from the underneath side of the deck during the wintertime. This shot shows our water garden after we got the liner installed. And when you install your liner, be real careful, or as careful as you can, to get all the wrinkles out of the bottom. And you can see a few still in the bottom, and then we worked those out as a little bit of water run in, because if some water ran in, that helps weight things down to keep things from shifting. And you also may notice along the edges, we use those little clips that you use on a picnic table to hold your tablecloth in place to hold the edges. That worked really well for us. And one thing you got to know, you got to be careful about, is the weight of a water garden. Now this is the underneath side of our deck before we started. As you can see, there's only one post in the middle underneath our deck supporting the entire center of our deck. Well, that's not sufficient for the weight of a water garden. So we reinforced the underneath side of our deck with multiple additional posts. And this water garden's been here for a number of years now, and it has worked out quite well. We have almost no sagging because of the weight. But if you put a water garden on a deck or a raised anything, just be real careful about the weight and make sure you've got structure underneath it that can handle that kind of a load.
this shot shows our water garden when we had it mostly full of water. We've got some of our plants back in it. We still haven't put the top cap around the edges. We'll be doing that later. And after we had the water in the water garden and the liner was pulled down tight by the weight of the water, we went around the top edge and used stainless steel staples to staple the liner to the top of the 2x10s. Don't do this until you got all your water in there and you got weight in it to make sure that that liner has settled down where it's going to be. Now this shot shows after we put the top cap on the top of the 2x10s, and we didn't or had not at this point trimmed the edge of the liner that sticks out. We did trim that out later just to make it look a little bit nicer. And you know, you need a filter. This is a rudimentary filter that we had at the time. We built a better filter later. We'll be showing a video of the build for our current filter, which uses a stock tank. But anyway, that's basically how we built our water garden on our back deck and the reasoning behind it. And if you find this video interesting, please like and share if you don't mind. And we've got a lot of videos online already, some about water gardens. We're going to have aquaponics stuff. We've got household repairs. We've got gardening. And if any of this interests you, subscribe to our channel so you can see more of our videos and let us know what you think. So we really appreciate you visiting Do It Yourself with Wayne, and we hope you have a great day.